Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US Indices report, and we'll look at the S&P, DJ and Nasdaq, and perhaps a few of the stocks like Apple in the Nasdaq. Look, I just see the count really quite simple at this stage. Everything's on track, not a problem. So just going back over things, we've got wave 1 here, wave 2 here, and we're looking for 5 waves up for wave 3 here. So yeah, that's where we are. So basically, wave 3 has really the biggest structure within it most of the time, and we've got that. So we're really on way for this bullish seasonal run through March, April into May. So we've got this wave 1 here which normally would be the same distance as wave 5 here. So we can start looking at basically the same distance here to get a rough start. There's more work that we can do to nail targets down as such, but that's what we'd always been looking at, something of this nature here. So yeah, all pretty sort of straightforward and simple, and within this structure here, once this is finished here, then we'll be looking from wave 3 to wave 4 here, and wave 4 can pull back to the wave 4 of 1 lesser degree here, so that would be on the cards there as well. Some sort of retest here before seeing sort of further upside. Yeah, so on the 15-minute chart here, just working with this, well, from wave 4 here. So we know roughly the length can take us to 250 here, basically because of the previous wave 1. Now, before I call in a target like that, we always mentioned that we would need tested support on top of group 1, which is top of group 1, which is always 3. So group 1 is 1, 2 and 3. Once we've got support on top of this here, not just trading above it, but testing it and actually sitting on there, and we normally find that's a bit of an effort to get that support, but if that's established, then we can look at 250, and then we can also look higher than that as well, because support on top of 3 here separates the order flow from being pulled by this number here. So this is a critical step in moving higher here. Now, that said and done, the any new high here can normally come up quite close to the 40 here. On exceptional occasions it can go straight to the 50 and then come back and test it. So a little bit of a tricky one, but normally we would see the support develop with swings from 40 to 20 or even 25, but we'll go 20 in this case because of the old top here. And we're just essentially looking for 5 waves up through here in this little case here, something of this nature here, and then we'll see that sort of correction there. I have to point out, the way that I've got the wave count at the moment, having this long wave 4 here, long and sideways, it's very sort of fitting for a wave 4. But I have to say that this count here, where I've got wave 1 here and wave 2 here, I'm not really happy about that, because I can see we've got wave 1 and 2 here and 5 waves in for the third here. So I know that it looks kind of here, but technically it shouldn't be quite like this. This would be wave 1, wave 2 here. So I'm wondering if we're actually going to get an extension into this here. So just building actually much higher. It doesn't appear to be that sort of case on the cash market, but there's something quite not right here. This could even get to the case where we put this wave 1 and wave 2 here. I know that it's probably not correct, but what I'm saying that for is that I need to let you know that something's not quite right here, and there could be far more potential to the upside. After all, we're in a third wave, in the blue third wave. So look, if I wouldn't sell unless you see weakness come into the play, and the next thing to be looking at, of course, is that support on top of the 30 there. If that's established, we naturally go higher from there. Also, too, is that, if you've been long for a while, then, and you can afford the heat, then once this moves up through here, you wouldn't get out of a longer term short unless the pivot within group 1, the 20 here, became the retested resistance. That would be the exit sign, because at that point it would be pulled back to this number. If it can be pulled back to this number, then it can be pulled lower as well. So support here is a critical step into moving further up. So let's just say our target goes to this sort of area here and folds from there, okay? So the negative downside would be the pivot here, the 2, the 20 as retested resistance. That would be your exit sign, generally speaking. And support on here would entice one to add more, take part profit here, wait for the correction at the midpoint, the 5, and then get back in once that support's been established. So it's basically just walking up the stairs, really, in one way or another. So we can have a quick look at the Nasdaq. Now the Nasdaq has got a bit of a different count here. The Dow Jones is just the same as the S&P 500, so not a big deal to look at that. But this count here on the Nasdaq sort of had me intrigued a little bit, because we can count a very clear 5-wave structure to here, and then an A and a B and a C to this point here. But this move up here doesn't really appear to be 5 waves. And in the other markets, of course, we've got wave 1 here and wave 2 here and wave 3 here and wave 4 here that overlaps quite significantly here, and then wave 5 up here. And maybe we need to be a bit philosophical about it and take it on board like that, but it's a little bit kooky. It doesn't sort of match up right. So I'm a little bit sort of wondering what's sort of going on here. But one of the interesting things here is that, as you can see here, the number, wherever you see a 3, it's going to be part of group 1, basically, unless it's a major trading level. So here we've got 100, 200, and 300. And here we've got support here. And the markets, come up to the top of group 1. You've got the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, then the corrective process, and then we'll be going long from here. So basically, we talked about being long on top of this here before. So basically taking out that high to be long, then that high, then that high, then these highs. So even though you may have had a swing loss in here, a short loss, they should be back in here. So so we've got this group 1 here. Then we've also got this group 1 in here, which has been a nice tested support here as well. So all of these should have sent you long at these sorts of points. We talked about this before, so I don't need to go into that. But it does set the target higher now because of having support on 4.3 here. I would like to have a look at some of the stocks that are driving this, and of course, Apple's always, Alphabet's always a biggie. Now here we've got, we've got this sort of wave count coming up here for this sort of top here. I can't prove the top here. I mean, normally what we'd see here would be, a move up to the number 8 here. 8's always profit-taking number. So we've seen that occur here. So really it hasn't failed at this level. It's just in the normal process of going through this level. So these counts here may not sort of be correct. But I just want to see, because the move down through here really is just one leg. So like an A wave, a B wave into the 61.8% mark here, or up to the 8 if it stretches up, and then another move down from that point. I mean, I'd like to see at least 3 waves here for this. So this is not resolved as a bullish pattern yet to the upside. If it found support on 80, on 800, on 8, well, then of course we would be going long from that point, and would look at an extension being in this structure here. I'm quite happy to be bullish, and Apple was one that we were going to use as a bit of a template, really, because it's very much like stock. And when I say very much like, I mean very much like the indices. And what I mean by that is that the move down through here, this can be 1 degree smaller here, by the way, not primary. It can be intermediate wave 3, but it doesn't really matter at this stage. The main point here is that an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave here is what we're looking at, and yeah, pretty comfortable with that. I know that this whole this ABC pattern here could just be one leg. Do you know what I mean? So in the correction, so all of this ABC just makes the A wave, and then we go to a B wave, and then a C wave, or we go into a triangle pattern across here. There's a lot that can actually go on here, so it's all step by step. But you know, even if it was a triangle pattern, if all this was like, if this was just the first leg in a triangle pattern, we would still get 5 waves up here, which we're tracking, 3 waves back, and then another 5 up here. Okay, so we'd still get the same thing even as a corrective rally. It would just be that this would be like, instead of having wave 1 here, it would be wave A here, and A and B here, and so on here. So this little area here is quite important. On the hourly chart, I've got this 1 degree higher here, but the count's still the same in terms of looking at 5 waves. So that's what we're going to look at just on the hour chart here, because I think this is quite interesting in that, you know, if this pans out into 5 waves, then you know, then we've got ourselves another run to the upside, basically, you know, step by step. So what I'm saying, if we get 1, 2, then 5 waves here for the 3rd wave, then the 4th wave, then the 5th wave here, then we'll have the A, the B, and the C. That should be a degree higher too. That should be in blue here, but still an A and a B and a C wave here for wave 2. And then up from here. We've gone over this before, but you know, it's just good to sort of, you know, watch it till we get to this point here. And yeah, so I mean, this will probably extend up into to 110 here probably. But anyway, the point is that, you know, we're in this sort of 5th wave here that hasn't made a high above here yet that would. And we mentioned about going long off this little section here, but if that's the case, you know, we just really want to go up to 105 and get out, because we need to navigate you know, more of this. We can catch this run up too, if you like, and parts of this to the downside, but this is the one that we want. You know, this is the one, because this one here, it may be an A wave here or B wave here, but it also may be a wave 3 as well. And if it's a wave 3, well, then we've caught it at the right time, you know, and away we go. But if it's just a wave C up through here, well, that'll be the same length as this wave 1 here or wave A here. So either way, it will be worthy, you know. So it's something to look forward to and sort of plan and think about, and when we get there. But if you're long here, then look to 104 or 105 moving up here. Like I said, there's a thing with the indices. I mean, this has got to make a new high here unless it's going to be a more complicated wave 4, but that size of that wave 4 here compared to wave 2 here is sufficient. So we should see with this here, we should see something like wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. And that's why I'm sort of just the count for the S&P 500 and the Dow Jones and so on here for the 15-minute chart. There's something not quite right about this. It could be more powerful than I'm thinking. You know, that's the main point here. Even though we're looking for a top, it could just drift much higher, and that's why I'm talking about the levels a lot here, because I think that's what we need to do, is we need to trade the price more than anything else. We know that we know the direction, so we can just trade the levels to the upside and keep an eye on the price patterns there. Alrighty, cheers.